Oh, finally. Oh, didn't see you there. Today I'm ranking the main bosses from Shadow of the Erdtree. I just finished my first playthrough of the DLC and it was amazing, so I decided to make this video on it. Before we begin, I have to mention that this is my opinion and you will most likely disagree with me, and that's fine. I'd like to know what you think of the bosses, so let me know down in the comments, but please be respectful to myself and everyone else. Without further ado, let's get started. Also, I do have a cold right now, which is why my voice sounds like this. At number 12, in last place, we have the Golden Hippo. I debated including this boss at all because it is an optional boss, and it does not give a remembrance. But most people did fight it, including myself, which is why I included it. This boss is not fun to fight at all, and it's not even unique either. I'm pretty sure you can find it in the DLC as a regular enemy. The arena is boring as well. This boss really has nothing going for it. Next we have Commander Gaius. While he is in second to last place, that does not mean that he's a bad boss. There's a huge increase in quality from the Golden Hippo to the Commander. The reason he's down here is because the other bosses are just better. Commander Gaius does not have a very interesting design for the boss or the arena. He's just outshined by other bosses. He is also very fast and hard to hit sometimes, which can be really annoying. Next we have the Putrescent Knight. This is a decent boss, but the reason I have it so low is because its moveset can be quite annoying sometimes. The good things about this boss are its amazing arena and boss design. The arena is reminiscent of Midra from Dark Souls 3 because it's this huge cavern that you have to drop down into. The boss itself is a skeleton with a cleaver riding on a horse that only has 2 legs. The moveset is cool to watch, but it's not very fun to actually dodge against. But the fire attacks in the second phase that you can dodge or jump over are pretty good. But some of the moves have very difficult timings. Combined with a long run back to the boss and a super long drop, it can be quite frustrating. Next we have Matir, Mother of Fingers. If we were going off looks only, this boss would be one of the best. It has a beautiful arena and a super interesting, grotesque design of the boss itself. It has fingers in all the wrong places. It has a tail of fingers and fingers all along its sides similar to the one reborn from Bloodborne. But the fight itself is not very good. It can be super frustrating sometimes because most of the attacks are delayed, and if you get caught in the attacks with the side fingers, then they will eat up your health bar. What makes it so low is some attacks being not that great. Maybe it was just my build, but this was not a very fun fight. Okay, next we got Redon, the final boss. Now when I heard that Redon was gonna be in the DLC, I got super excited. We were finally gonna fight Prime Redon. I got to him very early in my playthrough. I had only beaten like 4 main bosses before him, so that did make it feel kind of anticlimactic. It's not that he doesn't look or feel like a final boss, he absolutely does. Maybe it was my fault that I didn't explore enough before fighting him. But anyway, the fight itself was amazing, until I got to the second phase. People were saying that the bosses in Elden Ring's DLC were too hard, and often the counter argument to that was to say skill issue. But if you did say that for this fight, then you would be wrong, because the second phase is not fair at all. After every attack, there's another holy attack that follows it, so if he does a 5-hit combo, then there's 5 more holy attacks you have to dodge in between them. Also, there are very few openings when he stops attacking. The first phase of the fight is actually really good. His attacks are fair and fun to dodge. But the second phase is really the downfall of this fight. At number 7 we have Bale The Dread. People are already saying that this is the best dragon fight in the series. I would have to disagree. I still think Midra is better, but that doesn't mean I don't like Bale. He's so freaking cool. He has an amazing build-up with Egon and the Dragon Priestess. You see this crazy guy on the road talking about someone called Bale, and then we meet the Priestess, who tells us who Bale is and tells us to kill him. We hear that he's the reason that Placidusax has only 2 heads instead of 4, which makes us want to fight him even more. So we climb up the mountain and we see this awesome arena. I do recommend summoning whether it's Egon or a different Spear Dash, because this dragon does not stop moving. This fight is super epic, how Egon is screaming and we're both taking on the dragon. But actually fighting the dragon itself is not that fun. Like I said, he doesn't stop moving and some of his attacks can be really annoying. But hopefully it will grow on me. Next up we got the Dancing Lion. The Dancing Lion has a super cool design. It's a great spectacle with frost and lightning attacks. But the thing I don't like about this boss is in the second phase when he spams lightning everywhere, as well as also attacking you with regular attacks while the lightning is going down. The first phase is fine, but the second phase is annoying. Like I said for Bale, maybe it will grow on me. He usually calms down with the lightning a bit after the initial attack when phase 2 starts. Then the fight is fine. The camera can sometimes be a problem though, and his attacks sometimes aren't telegraphed very well. At number 5 we have Romina Saint of the Butt. This is a solid boss all around. Its attacks are fair and telegraphed well. It has a really interesting design and good arena, so overall it's one of the better bosses in my opinion. Next we have the Cattree Avatar. I've seen people have this lower on their lists and say it's a bad boss, but that's really not the case for me. I think it's a great boss. It has a super cool arena and it's fun to fight. It does have 3 phases, so I could see how you could say it's repetitive or a slog, but that's really not an issue for me. Breaking into the top 3 we have Midra. Midra is an awesome fight. It was hyped up a lot in the trailers and it really delivered. I want to talk about the build up to the boss first though. The Abyssal Forest was a great area. It was super creepy and the atmosphere was great. And I mean, look at this place, this looks so cool. And then we get to the manor and we find the actual boss. I wish there was an actual first phase of the boss, but we just have this little guy. But the real fight is great. It's difficult, but not too hard that it's unfair. It's just a great fight. Next we have Rana, not to be confused with Rana. Rana was a caster boss, but Rana is a melee boss. It makes you wonder if they could have been a duo boss. But anyway, Rana is a great fight. I struggled a lot, but it was never frustrating. Her moves are fair and it's rewarding to memorize them. She's kind of like the dancer of the Boreal Valley in the way she attacks. But she's also like Pontiff Sullivan, because at half health she imbues one sword with magic and the other with fire. Her attacks are quick, but like I said, they're fair and fun to dodge. Overall, this is a great fight. At number 1 we have Mesmer. Mesmer is an incredible boss fight. He looks super cool himself and his fire attacks are a spectacle to behold. And you're going to be beholding them a lot because Mesmer is super tough. Like all great FromSoft bosses, his attacks are fair but challenging. Phase 1 is brutal. You have to learn his attacks and you can't use a shield against his fire attacks. Then he turns into a snake in the second phase. The second phase is surprisingly easier than the first phase. I died a lot to the first phase, but the first time I got to the second phase, I killed him. He has a lot of big openings after his snake attacks and not a lot of health. Mesmer really is one of the best bosses in Elden Ring and probably in the Soulsborne series. That's it for the ranking. I hope you enjoyed. You probably disagreed with some of my choices, but that's okay. Let me know how you would rank them in the comments. Also, if you made it this far and you didn't like the video, what's wrong with you? Like, how are you gonna watch the video to the end and not like it? Also, you might as well subscribe because I will make more similar videos to this. That's not to say I'll only do Elden Ring. I will be doing videos on more video games, and more videos on music too. So if you like my content, why not subscribe? Anyway, that's about it. See you later.